Jim Laird from J&M Strength Conditioning, and we're Performance Health Collide. Got a quick question I'm going to answer here. I just got done teaching the 6 a.m. class, so I'm still waking up, but thought I'd jump on here and answer a quick question. Been getting a lot of questions lately about training like elderly population. A couple of people have seen the videos that I have of one of my favorite clients named Doc, who's 85 years old, who I've been training since 2001. Asking about what kind of stuff I do with him, how his story, those sort of things. When Doc first came to me, he was in a lot of pain. He actually, his wife, I'd been training his wife, and his wife brought him to me. And he was actually considering having his back fused, and he could not touch past his knees. Like, he couldn't reach past his knees with his hands. So he was really, really tight. He played tennis. He had been a doctor his entire life, so he sat like most of the time. He was like an allergist, so he was in his desk basically all day for most of his life. He had been given consent, like clearance from his doctor to train, so there was no issue there. That's something you don't want to do with people that are definitely in the older population, is really make sure you're working with a PT, or if there's pain, or a doctor, getting at least clearance from them to know that you can't do any more harm. So what we did with him is we started on the floor. We started on all fours, doing knee circles. Some people have hand problems, so might do fist, knees up to the side, all, doing modified bird dogs, one leg at a time, whatever we could do with no pain on his back, doing some modified dead bug stuff, like T-spine mobility type stuff. We would do circuits of stuff like that on the floor, whatever he could handle with no pain. We did that when we first started, like pushing an empty prowler. That was a lot of the stuff we did with him in the beginning, just to get him moving better. And then as time goes on, we progressed him. What you have to understand with anyone you train is they have to be able to adapt to the stressor that you're placing on them. So Doc has worked out since 2001 consistently 30 minutes twice a week. He does some warm-up stuff on his own every day, about 3 to 5 minutes worth of stuff on the floor, and that's helped him immensely. He's been able to put on a significant amount of muscle mass, 85 in the last, since 2001, which is pretty impressive, and he can do some pretty cool stuff in his training. But we've built up over time. I'm constantly asking him, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard that was. So we want to be working with him probably between a 6.5 and an 8.5. We very rarely want to take him beyond that. He can push some pretty significant weight in the prowler. He can touch his toes now. He's completely pain-free. Over time, it was really interesting to see how when he first started, he in the first couple months, he got out of pain, and then he would have a hiccup every once in a while if he sat in a car too long, or if he gardened too long. Changing his lifestyle. Hey, if you're going to garden, make sure you get up, every few minutes and move around. Don't be bent over for like 2 hours and then try and turn. He would have a hiccup from every now and then, and as time's gone on and he's moving better and he understands how to take care of himself away from the gym, he has less and less hiccups. And if he does have an issue, it usually goes away really quickly. So it's been pretty cool to see that. But like yesterday he trained, and I'll post a video of that, and we did a basic little floor warm-up with some T-spine mobility, some glute bridges, some single leg lowering, and then we went into his workout, which was basically a modified deadlift. Off a platform, so he could keep his spine as neutral as possible, getting him to use his hips instead of his arms to lift, doing that with a modified Turkish get-up where he rolls and gets up and down off his feet on both sides. That's super important, that you get people up and down off their feet so they can get up and down off the floor, and then some band pull-aparts, and then I showed that, and then he did a little bit of prowler pushing with some med ball throws into the ground. I didn't show that, but that took him about 30 minutes, and it was challenging, but it didn't wreck him. And he comes in twice a week, and we've been doing stuff like this. He'll do carries, he'll do wall sits. We'll have him sit in half kneeling a lot, lots of standing rows, inverted rows, but always working within his ability to recover. And that's basically what it comes down to, is making sure people can adapt to what you're doing, and then progressively changing it over time, and then mixing things up from time to time so it doesn't get stale. So there's some general principles. I'm going to put some of his workout stuff below so you can kind of see some of the stuff he can do, which is pretty cool. And that's the key. If you want clients for, like, you want to train somebody for 10 or 15 years, you have to build a foundation, start where they are, and then start adding things, taking things away, adding things. It's just making sure you have a constant stimulus that's within their ability to recover. That's the key.